Well, hello gamers! Welcome to episode 17 of the tutorial series! Today I'll be showing you guys how I went from generating 1k RF per tick into 83.2k RF per tick. So without further ado, let's get right to it! Alright guys, the first thing we had to do is to get the materials. And if you guys have been following along, we used our XNet system over here to send only the extra RF we're not using to our builder on channel 3 right here. So the way it works is, in channel 1 we send our energy. So all these wind generators, they all go into this undercell, which then gets stored into channel 1, which is then mirrored over here into this undercell at channel 1. Then it goes into our player transmitter, which powers up our tools. Then it goes into channel 2, which is the power for our base. And finally, if it detects that we are at 90% storage capacity here, our XNet controller then tells the redstone proxy to send a signal, which then turns on our cable here, or pipe, whichever you guys are using, and it allows the transfer of RF between these two. So make sure you have your redstone only and on here, or pipe. So just a quick review on how we configured that into the controller. That channel 1, it has to be an XNet energy setting. Make sure it is extracting from the undercell and then inserting into the controller here. And then at channel 2, you want to use an XNet logic. So when it detects that we are at 90% storage capacity, which in my case is 360 million, it sends out a white output here, which then gets received by the redstone proxy. So enable it on white, then send out a redstone value of 16, and make sure this number of ticks for each operation is at 10, unless you guys are lagging too much. And then whenever it detects we are at 90% here, turns it on. So into the mining dimension is where our builder is going to be quarrying. I've already quarried a lot of chunks here, as you guys can see, but it should only take up to about a 15 by 5 chunk mine to get enough materials, or somewhere along those lines. And if you guys are like me, scrapping with only like 1 to 2k RF per tick, it should take only about 24 hours of running. And if you guys don't have the patience to wait that long, then just stick to the budget version, use the Niotic version instead of the spirited, then upgrade to the spirited later. And just a quick preview of what's our builder gonna look like after upgrading to the room. Check out the speed. This is the speed that the builder is mining at now. Just a tip guys, when you feel like you're done grabbing all the materials, just grab yourself a packing tape, spike it up, use a hand axe, and then go back home. Then place it down to your import system here. I have mine connected to this storage controller, and it's gonna suck up all the things that belongs into the drawers. I did make this new one instead of using the old AE2 import system I got here, because it's low compared to using the ultimate pipe upgrades that Pipes offers. There you go. And everything that's left over should be everything that goes into the processing right here. So just look at that go. This power Pipes ultimate upgrades. It's going by real fast. It's a lot faster than the AE2 import system for sure. One last thing about importing items is that you should put all your cobblestone and cobble deep slate, copper, dirt, tuff, and darkstone down here. And then make sure to go to storage settings and make sure the slot memory and the no sort settings is allowed or under here, so that the item pipes prioritize everything on top first, and these are just fillers basically. Alright guys, after you have done all the quarrying, here are all the required materials that you need. Most importantly, you're gonna need redstone, iron, diamond, and if you guys are going for the expensive version like I did, you need this much emeralds. So 545 plus 391. And next thing you should know is you need lots of blaze rods, which I'm currently receiving from the hostile neural networks. Alright gamers, the second to last thing that you need is the AE2 Auto Crafting system. Or you could use the refined storage if you want. But basically, here are all the pattern recipes I have stored. for this job. We got capacitors here, the dielectric stuff, the energizing rods, the cables, and finally the thermal plates and thermal generators. I do think that the energizing rods and the energy cables are pretty optional. And inside the energizing orb here, we have an ME pattern provider that's going to autocraft for us. Make sure it's on blocking mode, and here are all the recipes I have stored in it. So after that, you can just go to your AE2 system and then grab yourself a spirited thermal generator, like so. And it's gonna start auto-crafting everything for you. Just like that. And by the end of it, you should have yourself a thermal generator, just like this. So guys, just like the heat generators from Mechanism, it needs a bucket of lava source. And then, but it only requires one of them. And then finally, a coolant inside of it. So we're gonna use water, just like that. And then it's gonna start generating 800 RF per tick passively until the water is all gone. Alright guys, just some tips on crafting the thermal generators. It's going to suck up a lot of power, so this process will take a while at first until you get it all set up. Go ahead and get yourself a compact machine room and build out the skeleton of the build. All I did was place down a roll of glass, like so. Then place down my water, my lava, and then finally the thermal generator goes on top of here, and then the fluid pipes goes here. Alright, and then just rinse and repeat. So it would look like this. And then I would also be prepared to get yourself energy pipes or energy cables, some sort of energy transfer. Place them down like this. Then finally, supply all the water through a sink that we're gonna place right here, like so. Be prepared to upgrade the pipe because it's going to be really slow at first by default, and we're gonna be powering a lot of thermal generators right all along here. When all your thermal generators are done, just place them down at the hole right here, and I do recommend you guys to do them by 2s first and then rows of 13 because it sucks up a lot of energy and it's gonna take a while. After all that, just make sure to connect it into your ender cell or your wireless system, and bam, you're done. Alright guys, remember, just rinse and repeat and then mirror to the other side, okay? So here's me setting up a quarry on the mining dimension, and pretty much just make sure this is on 24/7 guys. So we're gonna place our cobblestone here, copper, dirt, stuff, and dark stone. Make sure to have it no sort. And then finally, slot memory right there. And then have my gold and iron over here. I want those prioritized, so I'm gonna put memory there and no sort. Then I'm just gonna take my fortune quarry, and I usually just do a 15 by 15 chunk quarry, and then just leave that on for days going. So here we are. So I went from here to here. That's 15 by 15. Put this in 256, negative 128, and then finally, let's place it in there. Then start quarrying. There you go. And that is how my quarry is set up. Just make sure to have this on pretty much 24/7 guys, because we like materials. And then just come back later. And as for the nether, I do have a filter set up here. It's mining ancient debris and nether quartz, as you guys can see. And for the shape card, I just max out the X, Y, and Z with no offset, and then just pretty much keep this on 24/7, just because we can. And make sure both setups are also chunk loaded. That's pretty important. Make sure it's in the chunk. Alright guys, I'm ending the episode right here. We got pretty far in terms of RF production, and hopefully in the next episode we can get to mining the Aldomodium ore all over the mining dimension with a Fortune 5 pickaxe. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you like the content, and comment if you guys have any questions. Bye!